Hey everybody, it's Scott at the Pedal Guy. How you doing? Well, we're all about pedal demos, pedal knowledge, and pedal sales. I love pedals, and so do you. In today's video, I'm going to take you through the looper of the Ampero 2 Stomp. But before we get to it, if this is your first visit to my channel, take a second, click on that subscribe button down there. There's tons of free content in here. Give me a thumbs up too. Help my video rank in the YouTube algorithm so I can make more content for you. Well, the phrase looper inside of the Ampero 2 Stomp is great because it gives you up to 60 seconds of stereo looping. Now, unlike the other Amperos of years past, it does not have a drum machine built into it, but this is kind of a different beast, therefore it serves a different purpose. And I think you're gonna really like how easy it is to use this looper. Let's get to it. So first things first, we need to get into the looper. So there's one of two ways to do it. One way is to use the touchscreen and press looper, and that'll get you into the looper. The other way to do it is to press and hold the second foot switch, and that will toggle into the looper. You can also press and hold it again, and that will exit you back out to the home screen. So now let's go over the interface of the looper. Up here, you have your play, you have your record. Now you can record up to 60 seconds of stereo information into the looper. You've got a half speed, you've got a reverse, you've got your clear function. You've also got the ability to change the different patches that you're working with inside of the looper. So for example, if you want to record one layer of a loop that has one Ampero patch, and then you want to go to another patch to layer a completely different sound on top of that, you can do that. There's even another trick that I'll show you in just a second as well. Down here at the bottom, you've got your record level and your loop level. If you toggle one screen over, you can change between post and pre mode, and I'll take you through what those mean in a minute. You've got your chain between chain A and chain B. I'll tell you what that means in a minute. Go one more screen over, and this will tell you exactly what each one of these three foot switches will do. The first foot switch is your record and play. The second foot switch is your undo and redo. And your third foot switch is stop and clear. And this will all make sense in a minute when we start looping. So before recording the first loop, what I want to get through to you real quick here is that this is a phrase looper, meaning that once you turn off the Ampero 2 Stomp, it's going to forget the loop. So it's not a loop. It's not a looper that stores and so you can take it to the gig with you. It's going to forget everything once you turn the unit off. So do keep that in mind. So to start recording the first loop, what you want to do is use that first foot switch over here. And I'm going to go ahead and just record something really simple in. Hit it again and it'll start playing it back. And it's a pretty clean loop. So if you want to stop the looper, just use the third foot switch, just tap it, and you can see that the first and third foot switch halos are blinking. That's to let you know you're now in stop and play mode. So if you want to start playing again, just hit the first foot switch again, and it'll start playing. Hit the third foot switch, and that will stop it from playing. Now, if you want to record an overdub, it's very simple to do. Just start playing it again. And what we'll do here is, let's choose a different preset, a different patch, so we get a different sound. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start playing it back. So let's hear what that sounds like. Now, let's say I didn't like that and I wanted to undo it. Just tap the second foot switch. And now you're back to square one. But I want to bring it back. No problem. Just bring it back. Tap it one more time, and there it is. Now, if you want to do other things, like let's say you want to go half speed, you can just tap the half speed button. Or if you want to go reverse, now, you just want to make sure, though, of course, that when you start working with the half speed and reverse, do understand it may change or alter the loop slightly. So, you know, it takes some practice. It takes a little bit of play to get used to it because it's a looper, it's an instrument. So it takes a little time to get it under your thumbs. The other thing you can do is you just want to clear the loop. You can just simply press and hold the third foot switch, and that will clear the loop. You can see now that the first and third halos are not lit up. That means there's no data on the looper. Now, there's a couple of other things I'm going to talk about in just a second. So let's file this under shameless plug. If you have an Ampero 2 Stomp, you're going to enhance your performance of the Ampero 2 Stomp by getting yourself one of these switches, because this switch will enable you to access some of the more in-depth functions of the looper. For example, you could use the Ampero Switch to access the half speed and the reverse functions. You could use the Ampero Switch to actually use the looper while you're in the home screen if you want to. So you don't even have to go into the looper itself. You can access all the functionality right here. And if you get yourself an Ampero control, you can enhance that even further because you've got those 4 MIDI assignable foot switches. So now let's dial back and go back to the beginning where I showed you a few of those parameters where I said I would talk about it. So now's a good time to talk about it. So in the first screen on the looper down here at the bottom with the rotary encoders, you can assign a record level, and this is going to assign how much signal is going to be recorded into the loop. And then you've got your loop level over here to the far right. Now this dictates how loud the loop will play back. So if you're using it for, like, say, soloing purposes, or if you're going to record another overdub over it, the loop level will help you with that as far as the playback goes. Now, if you go to the second screen, you've got the selection between pre and post mode and the chain. So what I'm going to do is go to the edit window here so we can look at the patch, and this will give you an idea of what you can do. So when we're talking about the chain simply tells us where the looper is going to be listening. Is the looper going to be listening to chain A, or if we had a second chain, chain B, will it be listening to that? That's how you assign it. Now, by default, it's set to chain A, and there's only one signal chain here on this patch, so we're going to go ahead and keep it there. But if you had like 2 signal chains going at once, which I've kind of shown you how to do that in previous videos, that would come in handy for sure. Now, the pre and post mode, it's the same idea. With the pre mode, or the post mode, which is the default, the post mode places the looper all the way at the end of the signal chain. So use your imagination and imagine a looper is placed right here at the end of the signal chain. The pre mode puts it all the way at the front of the signal chain. So the question then becomes, why would I want to do that? Well, you saw in the last part of this video, when I recorded a loop, it was in post mode. So therefore, anything that was loaded up, any patch that was loaded up, that's what was recorded in the loop. And then if I wanted to, I could change it and then record a completely different sound on top of the previously recorded loop. But when you're in pre-mode, that's a bit different, because when you're in pre-mode, what happens is it records the loop just dry. And then what you can do is you can change the patch inside of the Ampero, and you can come up with a completely different sound if you want to. For example, if I just play something back right now, let's just go ahead and record something. Okay, we're listening back to this, and you say, you know what? I like the way it feels, but I'm not crazy about the sound. Because we're in pre-mode, you can change the sound, you can change the patch. So you can find a patch that might be a little more to your liking. Like that warm and chimey, that's pretty nice, right? But the same rules apply as far as the controls go. If you want to stop, just use the third foot switch. If you want to record an overdub, just use the first foot switch. The one thing to keep in mind is that pre and post are not interchangeable. Meaning if I change it back to post, it is erased. Everything's erased. You can see that the first and third foot switches, the halos are now blank, meaning there's no data on the looper. So do keep that in mind. But that's essentially how you use the Ampero 2 looper. Well, that wraps up this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any further questions, use the comment section below and I'll get back to you when I can. See you in the next video. Well, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any further questions, be sure to visit us at thepedalguide.com. But in the meantime, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for weekly videos and tutorials. Thanks for stopping by here at thepedalguide.com, where I love pedals and so do you.